Alright everybody, today we're going to be going over the first red deck coming out in set 18, which is going to be the, we're going to go over the Son Goku and Vegeta leader today, the GT leader, however you want to call him. This is a very powerful leader, and depending on who you talk to, people say this is probably the best leader going into the next format, at least from the leaders that have, that are releasing. But, well, you guys can decide on that. I'll give you guys my opinion in a later video next week with the state of red, and we'll go over that. But, Son Goku and Vegeta, permanent, you can use mono red Saiyan cards in rest mode in your combo, which is very, very good because you're able to play those out in rest mode, actually, with some skills. Auto, once per turn when you use a card in a combo, look up the top 3 cards of your deck, add up to 1 red Saiyan card or 1 red Unison with a specific cost of 2 among them. Place the remaining card at the bottom of your deck in any order. Now, this is very good for a multitude of reasons. One, you have the ability of searching out your entire archetype because it's not based off of cost. It's just the red Saiyan trait. For future reference, this also doesn't include mono red Saiyans, meaning that red green, red blue, red yellow, whatever, right? You can search out any red Saiyan. And then any 2-cost Unison, which is incredible, being able to search out your Unison as well. Awaken, when your life is at 4 or less, or you have 2 or more energy, both Son Goku GT and Vegeta GT. So you have to have 2 specific cards in your Z energy. One has to be Goku GT, one has to be Vegeta GT. When you do, you draw 1, restand 1, and you strike life down to 6. Now on the other side, you become Super Saiyan 4 Son Goku and Vegeta. Same permanent on the top. Second permanent, your Gogeta GT cards can attack your opponent's battle cards in active mode. And when your Gogeta GT cards attacks your opponent's battle card, your opponent skips their defensive step. What that means is that you have no... I believe defensive step would be... combo step, if I'm not mistaken. I believe so, or that means that they don't get a negate step or a defensive step, so something like that. Is my guess. Auto, once per turn when you activate Union Fusion, this card gains Gogeta GT for the turn, which is, I think it's kind of dumb. They should have just made this leader Gogeta SS4 Gogeta instead of making it Goku and Vegeta, so that way they didn't have to add this line of text. It just would save the line of text. Auto, when this card attacks, draw 1, then play up to 1 red Saiyan card with energy cost of 1 in your hand in rest mode. Now, this is also very good. Being able to, like I said, you are drawing a card and then opening a counter window in order to play a card is very crucial. This allows you to bait out counter plays, and the amount of 1-drops that you can play that are red, one in particular, that makes this deck incredibly, incredibly good for competitive. Now, before we get into the list, we're going to go over the Z Awaken card, which is also incredibly powerful. So this is Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, the Ultimate Fusion. This is a 3-cost Z energy, and you are not mistaken, it does say 100k as your power level, which is astronomical what this card can actually do. So, permanent, you can only include copies of this, 1 copy of this card in your Z deck. Other Z leaders you can actually include 4, unless it states otherwise. You can only have 7 cards in your Z deck anyways, but you can only include 1 copy of this in your Z deck. When your life is at 4 or less, and all of your energy is in rest mode, you skip your charge step during your next turn, and you evolve this on top of a red Goku and Vegeta. Now this is why they probably made it so that way the leader wasn't also Gogeta, because it'd be a little confusing, but whatever. Permanent, while this card is in battle, you can't activate extra card skills or use cards in combos. At the end of your opponent's turn, switch this card to active mode, remove it from the game. So, you get rid of basically this card, you get rid of at the start of your next turn. At the end of your opponent's turn, I should say. And you skip your charge step, meaning you do not get to add an energy, and you do not get to restand an energy. So you're kind of stuck with what you have. The idea of this card is that you play it, and you're supposed to be winning on that particular turn. Now, before we go into the deck, kind of a few just a few topics I wanted to go over with the deck. This deck has some incredibly impactful Z energy cards. What I mean by that is cards that you are going to combo, where you gain effects off of those cards comboing. It makes it very, very good targets for Z energy. Your leader having the ability to search out red Saiyans is incredible for future archetype building, as well as just deck design and stuff in the future, because you can search out the most highly populated special trait in the entire game, and the majority of red cards, red battle cards, are going to be Saiyan. So the fact that you can search out almost your entire color wave is insane. This also dips, like I said, into multicolor as well, which is just a whole other thing. Now there's a lot of effects. I think there are some effects in this deck where your energy needs to be mono red. I think, but regardless, the fact that you can do that is just very astronomical. I couldn't speak today. Sorry. The deck has a lot of free play and a lot of combo power effects that we'll go over, as well as an incredibly powerful Z leader that can end the game for you very easily, and might I add, and also being able to play this on defense, being a 100k leader. There's some scenarios where it's not good, but it's very far few in between. This is a very good card. I won't say balanced. It's pretty easy to deal with. Just negate, right? But there's another card in the deck that we'll go over, obviously, that makes this deck a little more difficult to deal with. So we're actually going to hop right now into the deck profile. Alright guys, so hopping into the deck here, we have a 54 card list here for the main board, as well as a 7 card Z deck, which we will go over after the actual initial deck here. So we're going to hop right into it here. Unison, we have Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta Powers Connection. This is the probably one of the best red unisons. It's weird. It's like every set, or every few sets, red gets this incredibly powerful unison. First it was King Piccolo, then it was Baby Unison, now it's this guy. And it's incredible how this one color just continuously just keeps getting some of the best support. Auto, when this card is played, search top 3, add up to 1 red card among them to your hand and place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck. So this is also very good. So this allows you to search out literally any card in your entire deck, which is crazy. You can search out anything. No, just has to be a red card. Also, doesn't say mono red, so keep that in mind. +2, already good. You have a +2. Play up to 1 red battle card with any cost of 1 from your hand in rest mode. So you tap 2. You don't tap 2, but you +2. Opens a counter window. You play out a 1-drop. We'll go over the 1-drops that we're gonna play. Activate battle. -4. This card gets 15k and double strike for the battle. In the battle step, this card itself can be a game finisher. There's so much this card actually does, and it's one of the best designed unisons I think we've ever had, as well as it being a Gogeta card. Gogeta is my favorite, for one of my favorite fusion. GT is my favorite portion of Dragon Ball. So, and this art looks amazing. It's just it's a crown jewel of Dragon Ball. But it's a very loaded card. It draws you a card. It's a +2. It free plays. It's a game ender. It's really hard to get rid of. It's very good. It's a very good card. Now, as good as this card is, we still included 1 copy of Piccolo Jr. because it's limited to 1. It's also searchable off the leader, and the Gogeta Unison. So why not? Running this card is still good, even if it's a 1 of. Just gives you another target to have as a unison for your deck. Now, we're going to skip around here a little bit. So the 1-drops, we can play off of this. So we have 2 particular 1-drops, 3 particular 1-drops in this deck that we are going to play. So we have Rushing Warrior Pan. You guys don't know, when you play this card, you give your leader or a red battle card 5k for the duration of the turn, which is pretty cool. So your leader and your unison can play this card, basically making your leader or a battle card 20k or plus, right? When this card is comboed from your battle area, draw 1. So your leader, you can swing, play the pan, draw a card, give your leader 5k, go to the combo step, combo this guy off, draw, and then draw a card. So you're basically a draw 2, while also pumping your leader 5k. Very good card. Very good card. Broly Crown. We obviously know how ridiculous this card is going to be with this deck, being able to be played off Gogeta and your leader, and then just sniping a card from your opponent's hand. it's going to be really difficult to deal with. But it is unfortunately something that Red has access to. Now, the third one is going to be Son Goku's Adventures Advent. So this is, you search top 5 for a Saiyan 4 or less, or a specific unison with a cost of 1. The reason why we do this is just another 1-drop. But also searches out all of these cards, including Broly and Pan as well, and your super combo, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. So it searches out just a ton of cards in your deck, and just having extra ways of being able to search through your deck. The other reason why I play it is because this, as well as your leader, bottom decks cards. So they don't necessarily cycle. So you're not able to shuffle your deck. So if you get a card like New Ruler or Topo or something else that you don't end up grabbing, it goes to the bottom of the deck, there's very little chance you're going to see that card again. So being able to play a card like this where you actually can reshuffle your deck, it's just a good idea. It's just an extra little tech in there. Now, going over all of the fusion pieces here. We have, I believe if I counted this correctly, there should be 9 of each. Yes, we have 4, 7, 9, 4, 6, 9. Okay, yep. So, yeah, so we have 18 pieces that we can use for Gogeta fusions, 9 of each character. So we have the Preparing to Brawl Goku and Vegeta. So these are actually technically one costs. If our leader is this particular leader. When each one of these cards are played, you draw a card, switch this card to rest mode, and then at the end of the turn you place this card in the owner's drop. When this card is comboed from your battle area, you draw one. So you play these cards, you can play these also off of your Gogeta and your leader. So you draw. They go in rest mode. Because you cannot swing with them. And then you just combo them off to then draw another card. The idea of this card is it's supposed to cycle. So you play this card for 1, draw the card, swing with your leader, combo this card, draw the card off of this, and then draw the card off your leader. It's just allowing you to cycle, and then you get these cards in your Z energy. So now you have the ability to awaken early, and then you can set up your Z energy for later on. Now we have Digging Deep and Rivalry United. Actually, I'm sorry. Digging Deep and Searching for Rivals. These are the next two. I don't know why they're not next to each other. So this Goku, limit 1. If your leader is this particular leader and your life is at 4 or less, limit 1, you combo with this card from your hand, and you choose one of your cards and it gets 5k for the turn. This is a 0 combo cost, but it is a 5k combo for the turn, essentially making this a red Senzu Bean for this deck. So you can do this on offense or on defense and give your leader 5k for the turn. Just what red needed, right? A searchable Senzu Bean. It's incredible. And then we have Searching for Rivals. Activate main, you discard this card from your hand. You add up to 1 4-drop Son Goku GT with 20k power from your deck to your hand. Meaning, you can search out Preparing to Brawl, Digging Deep, and then this guy, Rivalry United. So you basically, if you have like an extra Vegeta in your hand, essentially you're using this, pitching this guy to then grab the Goku, so then you can, use your fusion functions. Now we have Rivalry United. Vegeta is a 20k crit deflect, while Goku is a 20k double strike deflect. Both of these cards, this card, when this card is played, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards and gets minus 15 for the turn. This card is using a combo from your battle area. It gets 5k combo power for the turn, and your leader gains crit. While this guy draws you a card, same combo effect, but gives your leader double strike. So you have a searchable Champa and a searchable the Frieza draft box guy that gives crit. Then activate battle. Both these have the same activate battle. If your leader is this particular leader, you have 2 more energy and you have 1 Goku, 1 or more Goku in your combo area. You can play this guy out for 1. And he also has the flex. You can play this guy out for 1 here with the Goku. You can play this guy out for 1 with you have a Vegeta. That's incredible. It's incredible value that you get off of these 2 cards. Obviously, this deck lives in the combo step. This is a pure Z energy based deck, in the most the most realist way possible. Some tech stuff we have here. We have 2 Violent Rays, 2 After Image. Violent Rays is gonna be very good in this format, as well as After Image. We're going to be at a high life total most of the game. Most of our opponents, will, if they're smart, they'll keep this deck at high life total until they're able to kind of, X to, 0 them. And we're gonna have our drop filled hopefully with cards. So being able to sparking early is gonna be very good. Imposing Presence, I put 1 in the deck just to have. This is something you're probably gonna end up citing more of because this card's also gonna be very good next format. For Yamcha, it's not nearly as good, but we're not running Videl, so we're not running a 3-drop Unison, so we can't play Videl. So we need to have a counterplay card in the deck, so obviously we're going to play Yamcha. Super Saiyan Broly Awakened Attacker. So you're probably thinking, why are you not playing Raditz? Why are you not playing a 4 life or less? So there's a lot of, when you look at this particular deck, and there's a lot of decks in this set that are like this, where they awaken and they go down to 6th life, right? So you don't have the ability of, your opponent can basically take you from 6 to 4, and your combo, your super combos are not very, useful at that particular time, right? They also can take you, if you're not at 5 life, you can't use your token negates, and there's a lot of little small things in there, right? However, there's going to be some games where you're never going to go down to 4 life, so your super combos, your Raditz super combos, are 0k combo powers in your hand that do nothing. So why have them in the deck, right? So Broly is a Sparking 5. Since this is a combo deck, we're going to have our drop filled. We don't play Overwhelm, so our drop's going to get filled, and once we hit Sparking 5, voila, this card now draws us a card, and it's always a 10k. As well as this card also being a Saiyan and red, meaning it's searchable off of all of our searchable cards. So you can search it off of the Goku, off of Gogeta, and off of our leader. Now Raditz is also searchable off of all of these cards. However, it is not always a 10k. So I think this is probably one of the better super combos for the deck. Better than the 4LS, better than the Raditz. Trust me, I would try it. It's probably definitely going to be a better option going forward, at least with this deck for now, because you're not really, like I said, you're not going down the 4 life. 2 testing the ops, 2 topo, just to add some more defense, and then 1 new ruler. Obviously, we're playing a red deck, and well, the last card is going to be the Vegeta secret rare. I think for this particular deck, you run this over, you run this card over Vegeta because we have a better 4-drop play that we're going to go over here in a second. So Overwhelm 6, this is a red Overwhelm card if your leader's in mono red Saiyan, which we are. You have 4 more mono red energy. When this card is played, your opponent reveals their hand. You snipe a battle card, 35k or less, and you choose one of your mono red leaders, and until the start of your next turn, it gets 10k, and this card gets quad strike. So this card becomes a 40k quad strike, while giving your leader 10k. What more do you want to give red, right? Like, this card is absolutely nuts. Being Overwhelm and having Deflect is just, it's wild. It's going to be very scary playing against this card. Now, again, negates are going to be very important this format, as they normally are, but really, really important in this format because of all the big boss monsters we're going to have coming out of this set. Also searchable. It's crazy. You have a searchable super combo. I mean, a searchable secret rare. You have searchable super combos too, but a searchable SCR is just incredible. Now we get to the most important card in the entire deck, which is crazy to think about because this card actually is most important, is more important than the actual secret rare, which is Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta Triumph Together. So this is a Deflect triple strike blocker. You play it for 4 with Union Fusion. You draw a card. So essentially, you pitch a Goku and a Vegeta, and you draw 1. Permanent. This card is not affected by non-Gogeta skills, Gogeta's GT skills when this card is in your battle. Your opponent can't activate non-super combo card skills, and you skip your offensive step, meaning you don't get to combo or do any sort of activate main on cards. At the start of your charge phase, place this card in the owner's drop. When this card is a card attacks, when a battle card, this is weird. When an opponent's battle card is KO'd by this card's attack, or at the end of the turn, switch the card to active mode. So, and your leader allows this card to swing at battle cards in active mode, essentially allowing this card to clear your entire opponent's board. If they don't negate, which is very, very ridiculous. And I don't believe you have the ability to negate, right? Yeah, so they skipped a defensive step, so I'm pretty sure you don't actually get to negate anything if they attack a battle card. If they attack your Unison or a your leader, you can, but if they attack you just can't. It's pretty incredible. Card's really, really powerful. I actually don't even know if you actually can negate this card's attack. I can't remember what the actual ruling is on it, but this card's incredible. You combine this with this, as well as your Z Awaken. It's just, you have a lot of stuff going down on turn 4, but potentially, you know, even turn 5. This is going to be a very powerful card, and unfortunately, we're going to have to find ways to main deck answers to this card. I think every deck, unfortunately, you're going to have to do that. You're just going to have to main deck answers for this particular deck, just because of how insanely good this card is going to be. Now, Z deck real quick. We have 2 of these. I don't know why there's 2 in here. I've edited this deck like 4 or 5 times. I've taken this out, and it just will not. It's gonna do it now because I'm recording. But I've changed this multiple times for whatever reason. Okay, now it doesn't. Wonderful. So we have the 1. Sorry, I'll go back here. 1 Gogeta, because you cannot include more than 1. We have 2 of the Awakening Vegetas, which is, I've talked about this probably in any video that I have this in. Very good card to have, being able to cycle life, awaken yourself, and also just cycle a card from your deck is very good. We have Rush Attack Vegeta, 15k deflect when this card is attacked. When this card attacks, you combo a mono red with 5k combo power from your drop with the skills negated, and then you choose from your opponent's battle cards or unisons, and it gets minus 15k for the turn. And then if you have 4 more Z energies, switch this card to active mode, it gets 10k, double strike, and barrier for the turn. And then you can proc the auto again. So probably the best red staple going in the next set other than the unison. But yeah, this is the deck here. I have very strong opinions of this deck that like I said, I'll save for a different video. But overall, this is probably one of the best red decks we have going in the next set. It's very hard to argue with it. There's definitely some interesting counters to this deck. Very interesting interactions with this card that you can do prior to the turn where you can set it up. But we'll probably make a video later on if this deck becomes out of hand, and I can kind of explain some of the little secret counters to this deck. So, but until then, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of the video of the deck, what you guys are excited about, of course, for set 18. And thank you guys again for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.